For years and years and years, diecast collectors have been begging Herpa to create an A319 of Eurowings and Scale 500. In late 2021 they have finally done so, but was it worth the wait and is it any good? We'll find out after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A319-100 of Eurowings. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of that we have the Eurowings branding. Then the backside of the box unfortunately follows the current box design of Herpa Wings, which means we have yet another cutout, and then very prominently displayed here, squeezed down in the bottom, once again the Eurowings branding. And here she is, the Airbus A319-100 in the current standard livery of Eurowings. The model itself was originally announced to be part of the 07/08/2021 release batch from Herpa Wings, but ended up being delayed by 1 or 2 months with a release end of September. The A319 has for many years played a crucial role in the Eurowings fleet, and therefore it is no surprise that diecast collectors have been asking Herpa for years and years to create such a model, and now that they have finally done so, we of course need to take a closer look to see if it is actually worth our time and money. And as always, we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer find the Eurowings color scheme. On the fuselage we then have the flag of the European Union, the German flag, the full registration code. On top of the fuselage we find the addition of a sat dome, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. And then at the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we find the writing of Eurowings. By now Herpa of course also as a standard adds a few extra printed details like static ports or sensors, which also heavily improves the look of the cockpit section, which otherwise also features the Eurowings branding and the cockpit windows with the window wipers. From there we can move on to the engine nacelles, which have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but do have a few safety markings printed on, as well as the silver leading edge. The physical detailing of the engines I think is also rather nice, especially here when we look into the front. Very nice, you can see the engine fan blades. And then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we find the emergency exits have been printed on. This detail, however, is a little bit interesting because you can see this aircraft has 2 emergency exits. The A319 as a standard only has 1, but this is the high-density version of the A319, which Germanwings used to have in their fleet, and this is indeed also where the aircraft started its journey before it was moved on to Eurowings. Then we can also take a quick look at the wings, starting off with the top side, where we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out very nicely, and we do also have the markings for the emergency exits printed on. Also the underside of the wings I think looks decent with some nice physical detailing. This is also the case for the wingtip fences, where I think Herpa has done a very decent job. The landing gear of this aircraft model, well, that is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all the Airbus A320 family aircraft models. That's a good thing for the main landing gear because that does look rather nice, but not such a good thing for the front landing gear, which in my opinion is rather oversized, and of course is also missing some printed details. Then on the belly of the aircraft we find the Eurowings branding has been printed on, however that has been destroyed, with a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which is not included with this aircraft model, making it rather pointless. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A319-100 in the current standard livery of Eurowings from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? I think this model is a prime example of the current Herpa Wings standard. The good thing is the print quality itself, which is excellent, and that of course Herpa by now also has added a few extra details on the fuselage and the engine nacelles, which really does help out the aircraft model. That doesn't mean that they couldn't have added many more details, and perhaps should have, but at least they have started somewhere. The not so good part for me with this aircraft model is especially the shape of the mold around the cockpit section, where Herpa used to do a much better job. The same thing goes for the front landing gear. And then of course the elephant in the room is the price. The set retail price by Herpa Wings for this aircraft model is 2080 euros, which frankly is an insult to anyone with a brain. Of course, in many cases you will be able to get the model cheaper from retailers who have decided to slash the retail price of Herpa Wings because they know the price level is absurd, but that of course means they will earn less money. Ultimately, I can understand anyone who would like to have the model because I know many of us have been waiting for just this, an A319 in the Eurowings colors. Just know that what you're getting here is the very very standard of Herpa Wings with all the good, but also all the bad. And if you can live with that, well then, yes, absolutely, I would say it's worth having in one's collection. Now, with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, why not leave a like? That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.